The breakup you went through left you with so many questions. How can someone who said to you before you did, "I love you," who said things like, "I've never felt like this with anyone," who potentially spent an amazing romantic weekend or holidays with you, caring about you, being with you, holding your hands, you could see he was happy with you. How could that person, within a week or two, be able to tell you, "It's not working, I want to break up"? This is what we're going to cover today in this video, because I've seen a lot of cases recently, and I really want to help you if you're confused about a situation similar than this one. If you recognize yourself, this video is for you. I'll explain everything after the jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So first of all, there's an understanding that needs to be done around the power of words. And I call it the "I love you" curse. Sometimes we tend to say it too early or too late. Sometimes we are pushed to reply "I love you" back, and we don't necessarily feel like it. So there's also some people would use it to win your confidence. Perhaps your ex felt you expected too much of the relationship. He couldn't really do things for you or invest. And saying "I love you," it only costs 3 words. And some people don't value the importance of this sentence, of the impact that it could make with their partner, and they would use it a lot. So what you have to understand, first of all, and we're going to explain also what you should be doing in those situations, is that words don't matter. They don't matter as much as action. Action are really what matters in a relationship. He could be a great speech person, a good chit-chat person, really good with words, charming. But if actions are not following through, if he's not consistent with his act of love, words are meaningless. Because now the actions, what is clear, because here I really want to challenge your assumptions and work with facts. The fact is that he decided to end things with you. That's the action. And it's true, and that's why you're wondering today, how could someone say "I love you" one day and the next day dump you? What matters is what they've done, not what they've said. Moving on to the next slide. Love bombing, it's a concept. I've seen this concept a lot in newspapers recently. I think it's something that men are mostly guilty of. Love bombing is the idea of really escalating their proof of love, the way that they want you in their life. And so they would show you with gifts, compliments very early on. You can see it as when things go a bit too fast, a bit too quickly. The idea, and it's very narcissistically driven, the idea is to get your attention, your affection at all costs, to possess you. Okay? And that's very much a narcissistic desire. I would say most men, most of the time, men are guilty of this because of their desire to possess, this alpha type of things. Not all men will do that. Secure men will tend to take things slowly and discover and build a relationship at a healthier pace. So a typical sign of love bombing, as I said, excessive compliments or gifts really early on. If they buy you an amazing, very expensive ring and paintings, and buying you holidays, luxury holidays just after 3 months of relationship, it's a sign that things are going a bit too fast. Another sign is trying to isolate you from others. Be exclusive. You are their possession. You are the prize, and they want to keep you for themselves. And so they will try to isolate you from friends, family. And also to, which is very counterintuitive because they dumped you, they ask to commit very early. Again, you're my possession, I want to be exclusive, I don't want you to see anyone. So that's a quick word on love bombing. Perhaps that was the case for you. In any case, if it wasn't the case for you, what I'm going to say anyway would be relevant. A quick word on narcissism. It's a little bit like autistic. People tend to label everyone being a narcissistic person or being autistic. What is sure is that the idea, someone who's acting in this way, there's a lot of unconscious drivers. Of course, there's what you can see, what you can hear, but there's a lot of things going below the surface. So there's fear of commitment, potentially the realization that it went too fast, so they got carried away in this relationship, and for some reason they realize that, whoa, that's not exactly the lifestyle I want, the partner I want. The also being overwhelmed, because as they got carried away at raising the bar higher and higher and higher, they could be thinking like, oh, I'm stuck, I can't really escalate even further. One thing is sure, again, we are looking at the facts, hard facts, not assumptions. He is not reliable. Now the question is, do you want to be with someone who's not reliable? Trust, it's a very cliche thing, you know it already, but I'd like to remember it to you. Trust is at the core of every relationship. You can't be with someone you can't trust. As you know, every relationships, and as a relationship counselor, I'm aware that all relationships, everyone is aware of that, will have ups and downs. The strength of the relationship needs to be assessed on how you guys manage the lows of the relationship. I don't care about how passionate your relationship was. I don't care about the gift. I don't care about the attention. What I care about is how you manage those fights, those the things that created friction in the relationship. Because either it will break the relationship, either it will make it stronger. That's what matters. And there are three ways to absorb shocks in relationship. The communication, the trust, and interest. It's clear that on those three, he wasn't really transparent. Communication, I mean, how could you say, I love you, the next day he dumps you? The trust, again, it's very hard to trust someone. The interest, who knows? So that's why I think you're in a situation where you're confused, you're lost, you're potentially very upset, very angry at him. Today in this video, we're going to discuss about facts, and what you should be doing about that. You can't trust him, so that's a fact. The question is, and the danger is, don't be driven or don't be scared of other men. I know a lot of women that I've coached. They have this sort of, it's not a trauma, but this traumatic experience of the relationship where they felt he was the one. We had projects and he destroyed everything. How can I trust someone? How can I trust men when they tell me I love you and then they dump me the next day? So be aware of this, those cognitive distortions around this. So you can either overgeneralize, like all men are evil. The mental filtering, which is very frequent when you will tend to only focus on those bad relationships. I'm pretty sure you had other relationships. You see other people, other friends dating guy who are genuine, who are good communicators, who care about their partner and are transparent. And they're jumping to conclusions, i.e., I will never find anyone else. So be aware of those things, and rather than trusting men, trust yourself. I think, don't think that you've lost judgment, that you can't judge the true self of someone. You'll be able to learn it. I'll explain you how to do it. Because now it's really hard. It's extremely hard because you feel as if you've been scammed. It's a little bit like when you're a victim of a fraud. You feel stupid. You feel you've wasted time. But now you know what you want. And you're watching this video because You are eager to learn, eager to improve. And I'm going to give you a very simple tip if you want to feel better right away. You're watching this video. You want to do what's right. You want to learn. What is he doing? You should feel sorry for him. You should feel sorry for that person. If you're watching this video, you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, who's able to behave in this way, so immature, where commitment is so difficult, where in reality the only prospect for him is to end up alone. He chose this path of walking alone, of being selfish, of only listening to his own needs, or not being able to connect with a partner, of having potentially emotionally a double life. We should feel sorry for that person, because I wouldn't want to be that person. Don't save him, however. And I know a lot of women, because you are a caring person, you're very empathetic, you feel that he has some potential, and we discuss about potential in a minute. My role is to save him because I feel sorry for him. Feel sorry, but don't do anything because he's a grown-up. Spend your energy, spend your time on men, on people that deserve it. You've been together. You've used this already. You've already invested in the relationship. Remind yourself that he made you suffer. And if there's a chance of you getting back together, because potentially there's a chance, I'm not saying it's dead, he would need to fight really, really, really hard. If he was my client, I would really give him a hard time. I would really push him to face his insecurities, to really tackle things down, to really address the things that, he was not aware of. That will freak him out. But he will realize, what matters in life. If he wants to build a relationship with people who cares about him, he needs to sort his shit out. And if you were my sister, he would have a hard time too. Now, the danger is to be in love with the potential. So don't fall in love with the potential. Don't stay hooked on this. Don't fall in love with the person he could be. Fall in love with the person he's with you. That's what matters. Who cares about but if maybe he's gonna be like this. I know what we had. It's just a question of be in love with the person he's with you. I don't care about the potential. He could be the best human being on earth and the worst partner. You don't want to be with the worst partner. And so don't fall in love with that image, with that idea. Because very often we fall in love with the idea of falling in love. And we fall in love with the wrong reason, with the wrong people. The thing is, accidents happen. We've all dated the wrong people. That's part of life. This relationship shouldn't define the others, as I discussed at the beginning. What you have to do is to heal from the breakup first. And perhaps, or maybe you're on dating apps, dating sites, and you already have dates with guys. You don't find them interesting. And the reason you're not really interested, you're not really in the mood, is because you haven't closed the door, you haven't finished the chapter with that person. That's the first step. Fair enough, you can date and try to see people while you're going through that healing process. But the reason you're dating, it doesn't work. You don't feel like the spark. It's because you have in the back of your head your ex in your head. And those projects, he destroyed them. You have to acknowledge he destroyed them. He destroyed the trust. He destroyed the relationship. he shouldn't destroy you. So be aware of the potential syndrome. Be aware of, but I know he has, no. I don't care about the potential. What I care is about what he does for you. And today, he does nothing. Unless he proves me wrong. But from now on, he did nothing for you. And what I want to do today is I want to create a conversation offline. I'll put a link in the description if you want to share your story anonymously, because I've seen stories like that recently, and I don't know why recently, but like 3 or 4 this past week. And I want to have a conversation and really, because I'm conscious that if you were to share your story and get the other perspective of the other people, that will also help you understand, and for me as well to understand psychology of dumpers, because I'm still also confused about how people can be doing these kind of things. Any other questions, don't hesitate to comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.